All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the GSD Show. I'm Mike Arce, and today I am here with Laurel Roach. Laurel, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
All right, so I got you on because you are crushing it in corporate sales, and that's something you and I have talked about for a while now. We've been talking about your excitement to get more involved in it. We've been friends now for what, like 5 years, something like that?
Yeah.
And you've had your studio for a while, but really this last year or so, maybe not even that long.
Not even a year, yeah.
Not even a year.
6-8 months.
You focused on how do I get more sales in just one sale. And so you've made about 4 big sales over the last, couple months?
Since September, October, it really started.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they were like what, $2,000, $3,000 sales? I mean, $90,000 contracts, right?
$90,000 total with everything so far. And I have 3 that have been recurring, so recurring monthly, and then some one-times with challenges and stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's start from this. What's your biggest package that you sold?
Probably the biggest one was my first, which was actually a small team, a small law firm with 7 people, and he pays $2,900 a month. And then just recently have some new opportunities that I expect to be bigger. They're all tiered based on how many people are participating. So
how many people for that?
For which one?
For the one that's $2,900 a month, you said?
7, a small team of 7.
7 people are paying you $2,900 a month?
Yeah.
Hold on, what's the math on that?
I know, I feel like I'm...
Hold on. 2,900 divided by 7, that's $414 a month per member?
Employee. Mm-hmm.
What do you normally charge for
Not
what they're doing?
Not that. We're doing some different things for them. So with that, they get, we do a quarterly learning event for them, couple-hour event. They get unlimited training in the studio. They also get our online virtual challenges.
Okay.
So it's kind of the whole thing. And then I'm also charging kind of a management fee to run all of that.
So you're doing extra stuff for them.
Sure.
So it does justify the cost.
Sure.
But still, that's a really good deal. Mm-hmm. What do you typically charge a member at your studio? Like just in general, that doesn't have all that stuff.
Sure. On average, about $200 a month, $200 to $250 a month.
$200 to $250 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your employees, do they enjoy working with the corporate accounts? Is it better?
Yeah, I mean, that's really the direction that all of us want to take the studio going forward.
Really?
Is exclusively, I'm hedging all my bets on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about all the pros, because you've listed them out. When you tell your employees, here's why we should do this, and then you start listing all the reasons, what were those reasons?
Well, I think one of the challenges that I was running into is that, everybody knows this, there's so much competition in the space, there's just more options available for people. And so when I looked at that, it's like I'm one of a lot of people in the space doing fitness. And so when I made this transition, I was looking at what are people doing in the corporate space, and are they doing it well?
Right.
Are they getting results? Is it going well for these companies? And it's really not. In my opinion, there's so much opportunity for a studio owner if they understand some of the things that I know now, going into it, what works and what doesn't work, and how to speak the language that a company is looking for when they have a program like this. There's some specific things you need to know. So it's taken me, probably a year with all the research to figure that out. But I think in general, for a studio owner, we're looking at saturation in the market and having to compete with all these people. How do we keep our members engaged to where they'll stay with us for a long period of time? With a corporate contract, it's an annual contract.
Really? So they pay you in full for a year?
They don't pay you in full, but you have a contract.
Okay.
You have a contract because, and the verbiage is really easy to explain that to a company, that if we're working with your employees, we need to have more than a month or 2 to make these changes with them. It's going to take us some time.
Right.
So it's not as difficult of a sell that it would be with an individual saying, well, you're with me for a year.
Right.
Right. And I think from the trainer's standpoint, a lot of trainers, at least my team, they want more. They don't want to make what they make in the fitness industry forever. They want to have more opportunity, and this gives them the ability to do that.
So as an employer, like let's say me, my company, why would I sign up my employees versus, go do your own thing?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you the problem. That probably is the biggest place to start. So when I looked into doing this, I started interviewing everyone. I reached out to every CEO that would talk to me, partners at law firms, anyone who would talk to me and say, hey, what are you doing for wellness? I want to understand what's happening in this space. What programs do you have? And what I found is a lot of companies have a wellness program. It's a retention tool for employees. It's, it makes the company look like they care about their people, but it's not helping anybody. That's
Really?
what I found. That it checks a box that they have it, but it's not doing any difference. Some of the companies that I've interviewed that have scored the highest on what's like in the Business Journal, healthiest workplaces, all that stuff.
Okay.
It's a bunch of BS.
Really?
They've got donuts in the break room. Everybody's overweight. So they're doing these things, but it's not moving the needle. And the other thing that I found is that for the average company with, let's say, 30 to 300 employees, they are not big enough to qualify for any incentives off their plan. Like they're not making any money back.
Right.
So they're spending money on this program, and it's just a cost. It's just an expense. So I thought, how do I figure out a way, and I'm still working through this, but I've learned a lot. How do I figure out a way to make this a no-brainer where for somebody like you, how many employees do you have?
About 42.
Perfect.
42.
So you're kind of in that sweet spot where you're just about big enough where if you're doing this and you do it in a certain way, you can qualify for up to 12% off your insurance renewal. There's some things where you
Really?
actually will get money back. But most companies aren't big enough, like the Amazons of the world. They're big enough where their costs directly impact what their plan is.
Right.
Those smaller companies, they don't get that.
Yeah, that's
So.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's the benefits of I can save money on insurance, but I'm still paying for the fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the cost that I'm saving on insurance doesn't make up for the cost that I'm paying in fitness unless there's some other tangible thing. Why else would I want my people to go through this? What are the selling points? Sell me on it.
Sure. Well, the rebate on your insurance absolutely would pay for it.
Really?
100%.
12%?
Depending on what you're paying. So if you have a plan through, yours is a little different because I know you have Redirect Health.
Yeah.
But if you have a
But I have that
traditional,
and Sedera, so I'm doing both. So it's costing me like $300 to $400 a month per employee.
that's really low for the
That's
average
low.
person.
Okay.
For the average company, they're paying $600, $700, $800 per employee for
Now,
insurance.
is that also age? Because I have a lot of young people too.
Not necessarily. That's just what traditional healthcare is costing
Right, traditional,
now.
yeah.
So, like for example, if you have a plan with Cigna or Blue Cross Blue Shield,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you're paying, let's say you're paying $500 a month per employee, just kind of even. I'm really bad at math, so
Yeah.
hopefully I don't screw
I
this
got
up.
my calculator. We're
Okay,
good.
if you're paying $500 a month
Yep.
and you have 100 employees, $600,000 a year.
Okay.
Your average renewal is about 10%. It's going to increase
Okay.
the following year. So do the math on
So
that.
60,000.
It's going to increase $60,000
Right.
through specific things that we can do. There's three main ones that get you to qualify for those discounts. If you were to save 10% off that renewal, you're saving $60,000. That
makes sense.
pays for our program.
That does pay for your program.
Pays
Okay.
for our program. And so my kind of selling point to the customer, if I'm talking to you, the CEO of a company with 100 employees, I'm saying, hey, okay, you're going to invest this in the front end, but your insurance is going to go up 10% every year on average. So it pays for it the second year. What about all those intangible benefits? Productivity, employee culture, all of those things.
Yeah.
Harvard did a study that the average employee that is healthy, that's exercising, that has healthy habits, is 3 times more productive
Yeah, I believe
than
that.
somebody else. 3 times.
I believe it.
So think about that. Like if you have a staff that's making $50,000 a year, how much more are you getting out of those people? But I can't prove that. I can prove through insurance. So my selling point is the numbers, hands down. And that's the problem with a lot of wellness. They're talking about all the fluffy benefits. They're not talking about the numbers. And that's what a CFO or a CEO or whatever, they're going to look at that.
They're going to want to.
What do I get out of spending $50,000 on this program?
Right, right.